Uh, no music playing there. We were having some technical difficulties with the music, but Charlie Colt, sorry that I had to interrupt you, but go ahead and finish your sentence.
Yeah, getting back to my little story here, man, I gave you a little bit of my history earlier. But, I wrestled with Scotty Scorpio for the longest time, one of the most over gimmicks in FCW at the time. And I tell you, man, I loved it, man. It was a hell of a ride. But when Cowboy shut down in 2004, me and a guy named Rick Dreamer had carried the tag titles for a while. And, shoot, man, at that damn point, I decided, I just didn't want to wrestle for anymore because, if I can't wrestle for FCW, I don't want to wrestle anywhere else at the time. Well, as I quit, me and Rick kind of split up at that show as a storyline. We lost the tag titles. And I got a call about a couple months down the road from a friend of mine named Jebediah Bogart. He said, "Do you want to go up to Jay Eagles with me tonight?" Oh, sure, man. Cool. I ain't going to work, Jeb, but I'm going to go up there with you. And we went up there. And Jay put me in the ring. I was like, dude, I ain't got my gear with me tonight. So I wrestled in a pair of black pants and Jack Daniels shirt against Kid Magnum. And he said, "What do you want me to call you?" I said, "Call me the Cat Daddy." So that's how that came about, me wrestling with Cat Daddy in North Carolina. Would you be interested in how the Charlie Colt thing came about?
Yes, go ahead and tell me where this outlaw Charlie Colt gimmick come from, because we all know that it's not worth a shit.
Oh, you kiss my ass. But anyway, I had quit wrestling for High Velocity Wrestling in 2005, I think, and went and got myself married, moved way away from home and everything, and I quit for a little while. And around 2008, I was doing appearances here and there, maybe doing 1 or 2 shows a year. But I was wrestling for this company, Wrestling for Jesus, and it was a Christian-based company. I got booked by a friend of mine, Ace Hardy, and I had a trench coat and an old Tim McGraw hat. And everybody around my area knew me as a DJ. They called me Outlaw. And so I said, well, I'm going to be the Outlaw Charlie Colt. Came out in the trench coat, the hat and everything. Had one of the worst matches of my damn life, but that's how it came about. And plus, I wanted to kind of give at the twilight of my career, I wanted to give kind of a tribute to the Desperado, the man that got me started in this business that I've known ever since I was probably about 6 years old, man. And I said, what of a way, to work out the last days of my career than giving tribute to a man that got me started. He's the Desperado. What is Desperado in English? It's outlaw, right? So, Outlaw Charlie Colt, and it's pretty much paying homage to my trainer. And also, it is a way of life because, everybody around here knows me as Outlaw also, so, it's just,
Well, like I say, yeah, maybe it does have some meaning behind it, but I don't give a shit, and truly, I don't give a shit about you, but that being said...
You could stop giving a shit, because, man, maybe it'd be a whole lot better in this business, man. You could, be more or less, somebody that's respected in the locker room instead of people calling you a fucking jabroni behind your back.
You want to know something? I am the genetic jackass, but the show ain't about me. I'm sorry. The show is not about me. It's about you. So
you got that damn right. So get on with your damn questions and shut the fuck up. So.
Well, how about you shut the fuck up and let me ask my question?
All right then, shoot. That's what we're here to do.
Next question for you, will be your thoughts on one Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan. Oh, well, he kind of snowballed me when I was a kid. That's actually how I started liking wrestling, dude. We didn't, growing up on a mill hill, my family wasn't, well-to-do. We wasn't rich. We wasn't well off. Hell, we had to scrape to make ends meet, so we didn't have cable. So, the local shows, they showed the NWA, but, my daddy would watch that and wasn't paying attention. But we was in a video store one time, and I see this guy with a red shirt on and yellow tights wearing a big gold belt. And I'm like, hey, man, I want this dude looks cool. I want to rent this and watch it. I was about 4 or 5 years old. And needless to say, it was Hulk Hogan. I was a Hulk Hogan fan until I was probably about 8 years old. And then, you know, my daddy took me to my first NWA Crockett event. And, dude, I saw a different side of the business. I said, these guys are really beating the hell out of each other. I said, all I'm seeing out of this guy over here in the WWF is a bunch of punching and kicking and a fucking leg drop. So at that point, man, I actually kind of left, you know, for Hulk Hogan and became a bigger fan of Ric Flair. You know, Ric Flair, you know, he's one of my all-time favorites. He's one of the greatest that ever lived. But as far as Hulk Hogan nowadays, yeah, he made a big contribution to the business, and I respect him for what he's done. But it's time for him to take more of a behind-the-scenes role, maybe, or just you know, keep doing the damn rental center commercials. You know, I mean, he was an actor at one time. You know, just go out and make movies again. I don't believe at 60 years old that he should, you know, still be in front of the cameras. But you know what? I could also say the same about Ric Flair. And Ric Flair, dude, he's like my all-time favorite, you know, so.
Well, Colt, okay, my next question will have to go about Hogan's daughter. Everybody recently knows that TNA has just recently hired Brooke Hogan to be over the Divas or Knockouts soda car. They call it the Knockouts. WWE calls it the Divas, and the independents call it the women's wrestling. So pretty much, your thoughts on Brooke Hogan being a part of the TNA roster?
Well, like I said, man, I don't too much watch wrestling anymore, but I did actually. You know, I do catch TNA from time to time, and I did catch it this past week. I seen Brooke Hogan, man. I heard about it, and it kind of floored me, man. I said, this girl, she done went from a music career to a reality show, and now she's wanting to be kind of, what would you call it in wrestling, maybe a head honcho or something, riding off of her daddy's coattails. What is she going to do next? Porn? I would like to see that, but I don't really take her as a good actor in front of a camera with wrestling. You know, they could have found somebody more qualified for that role than Brooke Hogan. Next question.
Well, your thoughts on the federations, your thoughts on TNA, your thoughts on WWE, and just in general, like I say, your thoughts on them two companies.
WWE, Vince McMahon, he's a genius, dude. I can't fault him for that. And, dude, like I said, you know, wrestling's nothing like it used to be. But when you flip over and you watch TNA, it kind of brings you back to the days of old, man. Like, I watched a match between Christopher Daniels and AJ Styles the other night. Dude, the match entertainment, them guys could work their asses off. And the thing about it is they kept most of the match basic and then turned it up in the end. If you're looking for more of an old school kind of wrestling, and watch TNA, dude, because I really enjoy it. If you want more of the theatrics and everything, if you want to see more promos and stuff like that, watch WWE. WWE, they do have some workers that I do like, that I watch from time to time. I'm a big Sin Cara fan. I love Sin Cara. In fact, I actually want to see him wrestle Rey Mysterio at some WrestleMania. I believe that would be an awesome match. I like CM Punk. I like Wade Barrett. And I like Alberto Del Rio. But, and R-Truth, that's my boy. I met him a few times, man. He's cool as shit, man. I actually think they need to give him a run with the world title. But, you know, just like I said, if you want to see pretty much kind of down in your, get in your face kind of wrestling, watch TNA. If you're more about the theatric entertainment side, watch WWE. I'm not going to be like some of these smart marks out here and down the business, because, you know, I'm not going down the business that I love, man. Everybody wants to say bad things about WWE. Everybody wants to say bad things about TNA, even independent wrestlers. But you know what? Them guys are making money. They don't have to worry about how they're going to pay their car note. They don't have to worry about how they're going to make their rent the next month. They've got money. They're obviously doing something right. If you want to down them, why ain't you there? You know what I'm saying? I mean, what is holding you up from being up at the top level up there? You know what I'm saying? You know, you take me, you know, hey, well, Coach, you've never been that far. You've never been in TNA. You've never been in WWE. Well, I never wanted to go. And, you know, that surprises a lot of people. But, dude, I think fans on an independent level are so much more passionate than fans of the WWE and TNA. I mean, that's just my opinion. But I never wanted to make it big. But you know what? If you're going to criticize the big leagues and everything, dude, I got to ask you a question, man. You know, if you're so good and you know the business so well, why ain't you writing the stories for them? Why ain't you wrestling out there? You know, that's the way I look at it. You know, people might say, well, you know what, Colt's a fucking idiot. He don't know the business or whatever. You know what? Hey, that's you. And as far as that, if you want to tear into me, you can kiss my ass. I don't care nothing about you anyway. So.
Okay. Well, one last question before we wrap this up. And fans, please join us again tomorrow night on My New Age Wrestling Radio, the more family-friendly show. Same time as tonight's show, with this one question that I kind of waited to the end because I know it was going to take you some time to talk about it here, but your thoughts, and I'm shooting this out there, your thoughts on, well, I guess in the landlord business they're called slumlords. I guess in the professional wrestling business they're called fucking dirty down douchebag promoters.
Well,
promoters that do not pay their workers, or they say they basically they think of themselves and not their workers. They pocket the money and they fucking run out the back door.
Well, man, you know, I always thought, you know, if you paid your workers, they'd wrestle a little bit harder for you. They would put on a better show for you. I'm of the opinion you get what you pay for. The guys, man, you know, if they draw, you know, 600 to 800 people, which is rarely seen in independent wrestling nowadays, but you know they do, and they don't pay their guys, and they run out the door with the money. You know what? I cannot respect a man like that, you know. But you know, there's some promoters that are out here trying, and you know they can't pay and everything. But you know, when they call you to book you, sometimes you know that beforehand. But you know that I have, on instances, have been booked and said, I will give you X amount of dollars, and I get to the show, and either I get less money or either I get no money at all. And I think, you know, that's bullshit. You know, I always hold up your end of the bargain. And if you're running a company and you're making a little bit of money, pay your top guys. I mean, you know, if they're working hard for you and trying to help you build a future for your business, why not show them a little appreciation? You know, like I said, man, if it ain't, but you know, anywhere from $5 to $500, just show them that you appreciate them. But you know, there are some guys, there's some promoters in this business that you know are just shysters, man. You know, they don't give. I mean, all they want to do is have a show. You know, they don't really care about their talent sometimes, and you know, it's pitiful sometimes to see things like that. You know, there's another promoter we know right here. He'll book 3 shows and only run 1, and hell, you never know, man. You might get paid that night, you might not. Well, you know, slumlord promoters or whatever you want to call them nowadays, man, it's a sale. It's just got to the point, man. To be honest with you, it's gotten to the point in independent wrestling. Anybody with a tax return that has a couple $1,000 in their pocket could buy a used ring and think they know the business well enough to run it. And in fact, they do not draw, and they don't draw flies to horse shit. So you know, if they can't pay, you know, hell, it's them, man, because they don't know the business. You know, there's too many. The big problem is there's too many independent promotions. When I started out in this business in the other states, there was Brody Chase, there was Jim Lewis, Jay Eagle, and Cowboy. There was only 4 of them, man, and you know they all drew real good at the time, you know. But nowadays, man, it seems like there's a wrestling thing on every corner. But look, if you know the business and you're out there and you getting your fans up and everything, and you're entertaining them, hey, more power to you. I can't say anything against you for that, you know. Just like my company, you know, has been going on, and we've got heat with another company, you know. And you know, I know a few guys over in another company, and I respect the hell out of them, dude. And I cannot fault them for what they're doing. They're out there trying, dude. Hell, they had a TV taping tonight, so you know. Hey, if you got it, bro, and you can do it, man, get out there and do it. Mm-hmm. But as far as these sly, shady promoters, man, I'm not a fan of them.